Hey everybody, Tim here with today's episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Season 5, Episode 19, Ties of Blood and Water. This was a dark episode. It was a kind of a deep one. It's kind of a sequel to the earlier episode, Second Skin. And they even talk about that episode in this one, where Kira is kidnapped and physically altered to look like a Cardassian because Garnor, I think is how you say his name. I don't speak Cardassian. Gul Dukat wanted to get secrets from him, whatever. And they make this guy think that Kira is his daughter that's been undercover, but she's not. His actual daughter is still out there somewhere, undercover after a decade, doesn't know who she is. But throughout the course of time, this guy has started to think of Kira as his daughter. So they have like an adopted type of relationship. So he comes to the station, all upset because of Cardassia joining the Dominion, and wants to be with his daughter. And it's kind of a sweet moment where like he holds the O'Brien baby and he's like, I almost feel like a grandfather, even though you're not my daughter and this isn't your son. But it's kind of interesting to watch all of these family interconnections. Well, it turns out that he is dying. He has this incurable disease, and part of their customs are for him to give her the secrets that he has to basically outwit the enemy. Well, at this point, even though he's a Cardassian, Cardassia is the enemy because they're part of the Dominion now. So he starts, as he's dying, he starts giving away these secrets. Well, in the meantime, Gul Dukat shows up with no one other than Weyoun is there. And it turns out that Vortas are actually like masters of cloning, and that he is now the 5th clone of Weyoun. And supposedly, I don't know how true it is, but they actually created that subplot just for Jeffrey Combs to come back. And I mean, all for it. Like any episode with Jeffrey Combs is a good episode. But that's kind of cool that they were willing to do that just for him. And there's kind of a fun scene where Gul Dukat wants the father character to die, and like somehow or another he gets a bottle of liquor, and Sisko shows up and he's like, drink this, and he's like, and Gul Dukat's like, no, I'm not hungry, I'm good. And he's like, well, good, because it is like has so much toxins in it, like it would kill 5 Cardassians. And Weyoun's like, oh really? And drinks it. And he's like, oh yeah, that's definitely toxic. And it turns out that it's kind of funny because like I can't imagine anybody other than Jeffrey Combs in this character. And you kind of watch him do this, and he's like, oh, Vortas are immune to most poisons, so I'm good. Don't worry, I'm a diplomat. So it's kind of fun. Throughout the course of the episode, we also start seeing flashbacks of Kira with her actual father and how he was injured, and then when she goes out for a raid, he ends up dying. And the guy even says, like, he died crying out your name. And it's like, damn, like, that's just, like, really harsh. And she ends up finding out that her adopted Cardassian father was also part of, like, he wasn't a good guy, and he even says, like, it was a war, like, I don't blame you, I know that we were the monsters, not you guys. And finally, at the very last minute, she shows up to basically hold his hand as he dies. And it's a really sad moment. And then you see Gul Dukat's like, well, give me his body, and Sisko's like, no. And later on you see Kira, like, kind of combing over the grave, presumably on Bajor, and that she's kind of forgiven him, and she's made peace that she wasn't there for her own father, but she could at least be there for him. Overall, it's a very touching episode. It's a very sad episode, but I thought it was really well done. I thought it was well handled, well directed, well acted. For those who have seen this one, what did you guys think about Weyoun coming back and the amazing Jeffrey Combs? What did you think about Kira's actual father and her adopted father and the whole connection to the Second Skin? Go ahead, let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys for everything, and I will see you guys next time for a Ferengi Love Songs.